Your fridge is so cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi. Hi. Good morning, Shandy. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Is everyone good? What coffee are you making? I'm just gonna have a Malesio Boost. Hold on, I gotta open a new one. I'll show you. Oh wait, no, I don't have to open a new one. There's one that's open. Oh, it's the last one in this one. It's this one. Is your name Marielle? Marielle? It's this one. This is the coffee that I'm making. It's a really good one. It's mild, but it's got a lot of caffeine in it. I probably don't need the extra caffeine. That seems really wildly unnecessary for someone like me, but here we are anyway. What time does your slime come out? Great question. It comes out at 5 p.m. Pacific time today. 5 p.m. Pacific time. Does it taste like coffee? It does taste like coffee. Yes. I don't get the flavored pods. I don't generally like the flavored pods. I don't think the flavored pods are very tasty. Wow, why are there 500 people watching me make coffee? They're gonna disappear in a second, right? Right? There's no way that 500 people are gonna stay and watch me make coffee. There's absolutely no way. Please, can you I've never seen that movie, so I wouldn't be able to rate it. Yes, there is a mini restock today. This is book club. It's okay. I can answer restock questions a little bit. Destiny, do you know if the ladies from the book club got the link? I don't know if they're on here. Oh, there's Abby. Hi. I didn't see it either. Oh, thank you so much, Destiny. I appreciate that. I think they would appreciate it too. People are starting to leave, thank goodness. That was wild. Why were there 500 people on here? What a strange, weird morning. What an odd morning. What time is restock? Restock is at 5 p.m. Pacific time. 5 p.m. Pacific time. What's going on with my hair, do we think? Like, what was that? I don't know what that was, but I didn't like it. I love your fridge. Thank you so much, Preppy Girl. Thank you. Your fridge is so cool. Thank you so much, Kayla. Or is it Kaylee or Kayla? Kayla? Kale? I'm sorry if I'm doing it wrong. I apologize. It's not on purpose. I'm trying. So I was distracted by how many people were on here when I was pouring my milk, so I don't know if I'm going to have a perfect pour today. Kaylee. It is Kaylee. Okay, sorry about that. I tried, right? Hey, we out here trying. It's so early in the morning. What can you expect from a person, right? All you can expect is people to try. And where do you go to order? I'm new. No worries, Britt Dawn. So to anyone who's on here looking for restock information, my restock is at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and I will go live half an hour before the restock. And then I will unlock the website while we are on live. So everyone will be able, thank you, I love this sweatshirt too. Everyone will be able to get to the restock stuff on my website, and it will have all the information they need. And I will answer all, good morning, Shelly. I will answer all of the restock questions live right before I let the website go live, specifically so that no one is confused. And the reality is, because of how small the restock is, probably only people who were there at restock time will probably get stuff. Last time I did a restock this size, it sold out in 12 minutes. So be early. And I'm not trying to be mean when I say that. Just like, come early, you know? I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't pour it correctly because I was so distracted by all those people. Weird. The book club ladies missed it. There were like 500 people on here. Is your website in your bio? It sure is. My website is in my bio, but the slime page is locked right now because I've been updating the website for tonight, but it will unlock shortly. Oh, for the love of God, that person with my face as their profile picture is back. Why, wait, before we block that person, can that person, okay, well, I was going to say, before we block them, can we, like, please get them to explain to us why on this planet they would want to have a screenshot from this live of my face. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't be sorry. No. Don't be sorry. Maybe they'll come back and maybe someone else will tell us. What does anyone who's on here know why this is a trend right now where people are using people's face as their profile picture? We'll ask the next one. It's okay. It's okay. You guys are fine. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm just confused by it. I know it's like a prank, but this same exact person did it like literally 35 times in one live. And a prank is only funny as long as it's funny. Oh, see, this person's back. So like, here's the thing about a prank. For the prank to actually land, people have to be laughing. So, this is another one. Like, this is another thing where people do this non sequitur thing where they're like, it's a prank trend I've been seeing, but the edit's usually your face to make it look a little different. Yeah, like, and this other thing, like, hi, cool live, do you have scoliosis? It's like, you know that's not funny, right? Because I don't have scoliosis, so it's okay. But there's someone out there who does have scoliosis, and you're not making me feel bad. You're making that person feel bad. Do you understand that? It's okay, Kath. Don't worry. The restock's at 5 o'clock. They're trying to make themselves laugh, but for it to be a prank, it has to actually be funny. And if they're laughing at that, they're not okay. They're not okay if they're laughing at that. Like, when you say something bad about an able-bodied person's body, they're not hurt. It's the people who aren't perfectly able-bodied who get hurt. The person's profile picture already has your profile picture. So I asked. You did? You asked? All right, let's see what they say. I'm very interested. If you're not laughing, it's just bullying. Right, but it's not even bullying me. It's bullying other people who have those problems. That's the bad part. Just found you. I love your vibe. Thanks, Jaden. You know? Like, if you want to come on and be like, Sasha's slime is so bad, that's bullying me. But saying bad stuff about diabetes and scoliosis, because I don't have those things, you're not actually bullying me. You're bullying the people who have those things, and that's not nice. I love Disney. Oh my gosh, you're so right. I could talk about Disney all day. Oh, I hate that sound. Don't know why I continue to do that to myself. What time is it Pacific time now? I think it's like 7:15 in the morning, something like that. 7:15 in the morning. Oh, 7:09. Oh, I wasn't even close. She hates Disney and Pink and Broadway. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm just fixing the tripod. Did I forget to turn on the blanket? You bet your muffins I forgot to turn on the blanket, so I'm still cold. Ugh. Yes. Welcome to, I'm leaving Sunday. You're leaving Sunday for Disney? Ah, congratulations. Which one are you going to? No, it's 7:19. I just can't read. Oh, I was really close. Okay, excellent. Which Disney are you going to, Jaden? Which Disney are you going to? Disney World? I just was there for this. This is why I was this sweatshirt for the princess race is what, is there something on my princess sweater? What are you? It's a spot of glue. Get off of my sweatshirt. How dare you? I thought one of the letters was peeling off, and I was about to be really upset because this sweatshirt was too expensive for the letters to be peeling off, but it wasn't. It was just a piece of glue. Did you see the absolute horror on my face just now? Oh my gosh. I'm saving up to take my grandma on a Disney cruise. She loved the last one. Destiny, I'm coming. I just invited myself, Destiny. Just invited myself. I'm coming with you and your grandma on the Disney cruise. If anyone's going on a Disney cruise, I'm coming. That's it. I'm going. I'm saying Animal Kingdom. That's where I stay too, Jaden. That's my home resort. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. It's so beautiful. You get to have breakfast with a giraffe. The best. Like literally the best. It's the best hotel. I have been on 2 Disney cruises, and they were wonderful. This is nothing against the Disney cruises. But unfortunately, my ex-husband was on both of them. So I need new Disney cruise memories in order to erase the experiences that I had on those Disney cruises, so that I can cleanse. Thank you, that's the word, yes. So would I rather be with Destiny than an angry white man? Yes, I would. I would much rather be with Destiny. That's why I kept her and I didn't keep him. Wah, wah. I was just talking about 2 friends about that last night. You know, it's kind of funny. My friend Maxwell and I, someday we should all go. I would totally go as like a group trip. Yeah, 10 out of 10 would do that. I would definitely do that. If I'm inviting myself, I'll share a cabin with. Yeah, come on down. Well, what about James? That seems rude, don't you think? Wait, Shira, did you just kick James to the curb? You found one of the good men left on the planet and you're not going to bring him on the cruise with you? It's mighty sus, my girl. It's mighty sus. You better bring him. You better bring that man. You found one of the good ones, you better bring him. You're a travel agent? There's so many times that I thought about doing that. So I'm just going to report this person really quickly for harassment of me because they stole my photo. There we go. Reported them. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Bro, what is this person doing? Jaden, if only we knew. We've been trying to figure this out for days. There are a couple of people who just keep taking screenshots of my face in the live, and then they come back and they say, you stole my picture. I think, I reported it too. I think they think they're being funny, but I think they don't understand that for comedy to land, people have to be laughing, right? Like that's how jokes work. Like you can't be the only one laughing or it's not actually funny. That's the bummer. Anyway, speaking of, it is so weird. Speaking of, we just blocked them. I think Shira blocked them, which is totally fine. But what I was saying was, Shira, you have to bring James. I don't know if James can hear me, but James, I'm on your side, bro. I'm here for you. I will advocate for you, and I can sleep on the couch. I'm not a picky person. Like if it means getting more people to go to like a thing that we all want to go to, I will cram into a room. No, Becca, no. She cannot kick James to the curb for me. I'm bringing him. He's allowed to come. We'll bring him too. Okay, there we go. I feel better now. All right, so if anyone's new here, we are reading Gauntlet. We're almost done, actually, with Gauntlet. We don't have that much left to read. I'm guessing that we will finish tomorrow morning, and then we'll move on to our next book. And my Nana will start playing bingo. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll join her. I would say that I'll share a room with Sasha, but I get super seasick. I mean, put you on the new Disney Wish. Does the new Disney Wish go from California, Jaden? Do you know? Do you happen to know off the top of your head? I really want to go on the new Disney Wish, but I also would like to not have to fly to wherever I'm getting on. Can I put my wife and kids in a separate room? Sure. You, me, and Shira can share a room. Destiny and her grandma. No, it's from Orlando right now. Yeah. I mean, I'll go to Orlando if I have to, obviously, but Florida and I are a little bit on the outs. Although Disney is doing the Lord's work in Orlando right now. Can we talk? Can we talk about, wait. Can we talk about how Disney literally laid down the law on DeSantis? Can we talk about that for like 30 seconds before we start reading? Disney was like, hey friend, you know how you thought you could control us? Nope. Yeah, they were not having it with him. I love it. When I saw that, I was like, "Ah, long live Princess Lilibet. Long live Princess Lilibet. What a win. I love it for them. Do you make slime on your live at all anymore? Yes, I do, Mia. I do. I made slime on live all week long, and all that slime goes on sale today at 5 o'clock. Yeah, yeah. I did it like 6 times this week, literally. Yeah. However, we humans contain multitudes. And it is Sunday morning. I'm in Southern California. I'm right by Disneyland. Oh my God, the table with the eggs, amazing. The table with the eggs, amazing. What does that mean, the table with the eggs? It's Sunday morning at 7:26 a.m. Oh, the table with the eggs for the sun. Sorry, I'm sorry, Becca. I'm so sorry, Becca. I'm trying to stay with you, but it's later for you than it is me. I know they have cruises from New York in October, but I don't want to. Well, I can't go in October anyway. My brother's wedding is in October, so that's not happening. But anyway, I will get on another Disney cruise. I really will. It's just not going to be this year. I have too many weddings to go to this year, so it's probably going to be next year. After the wedding, I have the next race that I'm running. I can't get on a cruise in between the wedding and my next half marathon. I have to just be running. I'm not a child, so I can't get any eggs. However, I am a 90s kid. You're very funny. We will all go, but it's probably going to be 2024 before I'm going to have free time again. Oh my God, I just remember we're seeing Marilee in October. We are seeing Marilee in October. Yeah, we are seeing Marilee in October. Let's get your squad multiple rooms. Oh yeah, we're not going to share a room. That was a joke. We're going to get multiple rooms. If I'm going on a cruise, I'm going to relax. And I'm going to have bed space. That was a total joke, Jaden. I was being funny. I'm sorry, but why is the year going by so fast? Agreed. Big agree. Big agree. It's going by too fast. It's going by too fast. We will plan a cruise for 2024. That was my stomach. I deeply apologize. But let's get to reading. The year goes fast, but the workday feels like forever. I know. Yeah, James snores. No one needs to share a room with that but me. I mean, you married him, not me. There's a reason I'm divorced. You want to go to I've been to Castaway Cay, actually, so I'm not, like, dead set on going there again. Star Wars one is cool, but you know what's really fun? You know what? You guys want to know what the actual best is? The best is to be on the very last Halloween cruise, because if you're on the very last Halloween cruise, you go to bed one night after having a Halloween party, and when you wake up the next morning, it's decorated like it's Christmas. Yeah. So you go to bed and it's Halloween, and when you wake up, it's Christmas. It's like you're in the Nightmare Before Christmas. It's the most magical experience. It's like, maybe we don't really. Oh, no, we will, Becca. We will. I'm kidding. But it's like, it's the most magical experience because you're like all in your costumes and you're having a great time. And then you're like, all right, good night, friends. I'll see you tomorrow. And you wake up and there's wreaths everywhere and there's Christmas trees and Mickey's dressed as Santa. And you're like, this is everything good in the world. Yeah, no, you don't want to meet people for the first time and be trapped. No, I'm not saying that we should have that be the first time that we meet, but it is a very, very magical experience. And I live for a magical experience. That's the only serotonin that I get, is having those experiences. People, a lot of people want to know why Disney adults are the way they are. And if I had to speak for us as a collective, which no one should let me do, it is what do you mean, Becca? The reason that we love the things that we love are because that's where we get our serotonin. And most of us are probably, oh, Jamie, that's very true. That's very true. But it's technically, oh, I guess it is on Halloween. Yeah. Sorry about that, Jamie. It is busy for face painters. You're right about that. Oops. But it is really fun. But yeah, a lot of us Disney adults are neurospicy people who have rough childhoods, and the only serotonin we can get is those magical experiences. So, hey, Cringy Soup. All right, so let's get to reading because, we got stuff to do today. It's restock day, and we can't just be dilly-dallying all day, friends, as much as we'd like to. It's still a work day for this girl. October is your birthday month? That's awesome. I do love being a Disney adult, Jaden. Like, look, listen, if I was a Disney adult, would I be wearing this sweatshirt right now? Heck no. I ran my butt off to earn this sweatshirt. Yeah. That's right. All right. Chapter 28. Juno Beach, Normandy, March 12th, 1096 AD. First, wow. Of all the places we could have jumped to, the dawning of the First Crusade wasn't at the top of my fair weather list. The weather was actually not bad on the shores of Normandy, but the scene before us could have been a tad less foreboding, as it were. The beach was packed with the common folk of the Middle Ages standing shoulder to shoulder while they all looked towards the makeshift stage set up in the center of the throng of men, women, and children who were all mesmerized by the sole occupant of the wooden planks. The stooped individual happened to be Peter the Hermit, one of the most influential speakers France had to offer when it came to making lords, barons, and dukes leave everything behind to join the crusade. The hermit was really getting into his sermon on the morals of Christianity and how it was very God-given right to save the Holy Land from the heathens. While preaching, he waved the enormous wooden cross that he brought with him on his campaign for the troops. Actually, if not for the inconvenient slaughtering of 3,000 pilgrims in Jerusalem, the preaching of Peter the Hermit and Pope Urban II's supposed vision from God that included, but was not limited to, lots of dead Turks and heathens, and then the First Crusade wouldn't have even happened. We ended up landing away from the spectacle, and I immediately checked the Gauntlet, told the girls the date, and that we had almost 7 hours to burn before I asked Chloe, how was Klaus able to find us? Chloe sat on a nearby stump and shrugged. I'm not sure, but I remember my father saying that the men weren't meant to jump from time to time, so the effect it leaves, although they aren't harmful to anyone, can sometimes be traced. Sighing, I sat beside her on the large stump. Well, isn't that just peachy? And then I remembered something. Klaus knows everything about me. He said he got to talk to your father. He won't kill him, Chloe said, like she was trying to convince herself instead of me. His research is worthless without him. How was he able to bring the troops with him? I thought only my gauntlet could do that. Chloe shrugged again, not looking at me. Nothing makes sense anymore, Jericho. Piper was watching the vehement sermon with curiosity. What's he talking about? The hermit was, in fact, speaking plain English, his voice thick with a French accent as he explained aggressively just why staying here was not only craven, but against the very will of God. Upon stating this, over half the mob, no doubt smitten with the hermit's words, screamed out, God's wills it! I had forgotten that Piper couldn't speak English. Back in Flagstaff, I imprinted every language I could think of, so it would have been good if Peter the Hermit had been speaking slang Cantonese mixed with Arabic. He's trying to convince all these people to either pick up a sword and go to Jerusalem or drop their coins in the coffers to support the valiant men already fighting in the name of God. Odin? No, Piper, this God actually exists, I told her, scanning the crowd. I'm giving John a little bit of side-eye about that line. I don't love that moment. I know this was written in 2012. He only recently escaped from his religious upbringing. I'm going to give him a pass. Chloe looked at me incredulously, like she couldn't believe I just said that to a pagan from birth. Noticing her stare of unbelief, I said, we've already had this conversation on a long fishing trip. She's cool with it. Nodding in agreement, Piper added,
Odin never died for anyone, much less dying for the whole world. Don't get too zealous, Pipe. These people are already zealous enough. If they heard you speaking a different language, they'd probably just burn you at the stake. After we'd sat and watched the rather long sermon, these guys weren't your everyday 1 hour kind of folk, it seemed. Chloe asked me, "Why did you come here in the first place?" We were all lined up on the large stump, with me in between them, as I explained that I'd come because I was checking to see if William the Conqueror's son Robert was here. I also told them that the books had him in Normandy, but they were a tad vague as to when, where, and why. He was supposedly so poor when he departed for the Holy Land that it was said that he had one change of clothing and no money at all. That would be something to see, wouldn't it? A king with nothing to his name? A king with nothing is just a man, Piper decided to throw in, bursting my bubble. I glanced at her. "Try telling that to these people," I said, "and I suppose he wasn't exactly the king, even though by birthright he should have been. Speaking of which," I checked my gauntlet. We had plenty of time. "Who wants to help me look for him?" "Do you even know what he looks like?" Chloe asked, giving a rather large crowd a doubtful glance. Not exactly," I said, following her gaze to the large throng, "but I've met his dad once, so let's hope he doesn't look like his mother Matilda." Piper shrugged at my idea while Chloe said, "Anything is better than just sitting here, as long as we aren't burned at the stake." We went toward the cluster of tents and were able to enter the town without incident by heading around the people who seemed to be having church and shouting, "God wills it, God wills it," at the top of their lungs. I wasn't sure what we were supposed to do once we were inside, but I figured anything would beat the heck out of watching Peter the Hermit swindle men out of their lives and coins with his sermon. We entered through a stone gate and found that rather spacious little city was bustling with life, even though it looked like every living soul within miles was listening to the loud preaching just outside. We crossed the street to one side and began passing by all the local vendors who were selling everything from meat on a stick, linen, livestock, and even women. The progression of men and women selling their wares lasted a while, but when we finally reached the end and turned on the next street, Piper seemed to be having a good time, strangely, as she looked left and right, shaking her head at the vendors offering their furs and strange meats. My gaze lingered on her for some reason, and she noticed, smiling at me brightly. "These will look lovely in your beautiful hair, lass," an older flower woman said to Piper, holding out a small white flower to her. "She doesn't speak English," I told her, "but I agree. How much for the flower?" "Nothing for her, sir," the old woman cackled. Her black hood garb didn't look the cleanest, but she seemed nice enough. Piper took the flower and nodded to the old woman as we passed by. Chloe wasn't exactly living in the moment, so most of the vendors that tried to get her attention didn't even merit a glance. I was about to tell her that being rude was just going to draw us more attention, but her quiet span of luck ran out when we turned a corner in the street and saw Klaus and his goons standing in front of us. So we're about to move on to chapter 29, but before we move on to chapter 29, I want to say two things. The first is, I love John so much, but he is the first to admit that because he did this himself many years ago, there are typos in it, and that makes it so much harder to read aloud than the regular books that we read, because my brain is trying to correct the typos as we go. It's not his fault. He told us all before we bought it that there were going to be typos in it, but my poor little neurospicy brain is like trying to like. So you've probably all noticed that I sound different when I'm reading this book than when I read like our regular books. And so it's because I keep tripping over all of those things that I'm seeing. It is the English teacher in me, yeah. Yes. And the other thing that I don't know why that chapter reminded me of, I forgot to tell you all, do you guys remember when Catherine said that she was going to do the F around and find out packing of slimes? As long as her baby doesn't come, oh my God. Oh yeah, no, there are plenty of typos in mine as well. Yeah, that was not a finished, Shelly, the stuff that I posted was not finished or edited by, Well, I was just thinking, we booked my next restock for April 28th, but what if her baby comes that day? Well, the restock is April 28th, but it's going to have to be with the caveat that if the baby comes, restock's postponed until I can sit back down. Then we wait. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What I was going to tell you all is the due date is the first week of May. I can't remember the exact date, but she has a gut feeling that he's coming a week early. She thinks he's coming early, which is totally possible. I really want him to be born on May the 4th so he can be born on Star Wars Day. But, and if the baby comes the next day or the next, people don't get their slimes yet. Yeah, I'm going to have to put a big thing on the website that says, hey, my nephew might be born any day now. We're on baby countdown watch on my TikTok. Check there to see if orders are being packed. That's what I'll do. I'll make a thing like that. That will do it. But what I was going to say was, does anyone remember the F around and find out packing that people asked Catherine to do a long time ago? We decided that she was going to do it. If they aren't understanding, they shouldn't order. Yeah, you shouldn't order from a small business if you're not willing to make a couple of day adjustment for personal family matters. Some people really wanted Catherine to pack their orders as a joke. Because you know how I used to pack orders on camera? Some people had once asked Catherine to pack their orders, but I told those people, I said, if Catherine packs your order, there's no guarantee it's going to be correct. And they basically said, I don't care if it's correct as long as Catherine packs it. So we came up with what we're going to call the F around and find out packing. And I think I'm going to have a separate listing for it that's going to be kind of like a grab bag, but most little shops give a 4-week turnaround time. I know. Isn't it funny that even though I give way less than a 4-week turnaround, people still complain? Isn't that crazy? I'll never be understanding that's your fault. 1 out of 5 stars. Yeah. 1 out of 5 stars for me for having a nephew. But yeah, so Catherine has agreed to pack a couple of orders not on live. That's wrong. Catherine has agreed to pack a couple of orders. What is a turnaround time? A turnaround time is how long it takes me to pack the orders after you order. And generally it takes me about 3 business days. My last restock, it took me 2.5 business days. And this restock, I'm fairly certain will take me only 1 business day. One business day. Yes. Shira, can I put in a possible request that will not be finalized unless my nephew is born on May the 4th? If my nephew is born on May the 4th, I want to make a little plaque for his room that says, May the 4th be with you, with his name on it, but only if he's actually born on May the 4th. If he's not born on May the 4th, then it doesn't work. So that's why you can't pre-make it, because we don't know when he's going to be born. We don't know when he's going to be born. But if he's born on May... I'm still upset that they won't name him Luke or Lucas. You know what I mean? I feel like Luke and Lucas are perfectly normal names. We also don't know his name. Yeah, we don't know his name. They will not name him Luke or Lucas, even if he's born on May the 4th. I have a May baby, and my husband was so hoping we had a May 4th baby. I know. Does he have a name? No, he does not have a name. He does not have a name. No. So you made a morning live. Hi, Nessa. So I'm going to tell you all this because her husband vetoed this name. They can't use the name Luke or Lucas because of the way it sounds with their last name. So it's not that they don't like the names Luke and Lucas. They do like those names, but it does objectively sound a little bit funny with their last name. So my sister said, if he's born on May the 4th, why don't we name him Harrison? Which I think is a great idea. It's a great idea, and it's a great name. And her husband vetoed it. Can you believe the audacity of this man? What a genius idea. My mom threatened to name me Penelope Porter. Yeah, that's not great. I love the name Penelope though. Harrison, and like the fact that her husband vetoed such a cool name. Can you imagine being named Harrison? Like, you're the cool guy. If your name is Harrison and you're born on Star Wars Day, maybe it's just because I'm from a nerd family, but that sounds cool to me. And her husband was like, everyone's gonna know why we named him then. And I was like, who cares? I was born on May 16th, and my twin and my father was born. That you're all in May. Wow, that's crazy. Harrison's a great name. I nannied a kid named Harrison. We called him Hank. So cute. See, they couldn't use Hank for the same reason they couldn't use Luke, because that their last name starts with that sound, and that's why they don't want that. But Harrison is a great name. I can't believe he vetoed it. Yeah. And I can't say the other. I'm trying to like find a way to tell you the other names we discussed without giving anything away. I like Harrison. What type of names does he like? Not classic, apparently. Not classic. Okay. What names did he like? I can't remember. Name him Chewbacca. Well, just name him Chewie. That kid would have been so cool in school. I know, right? If you are named Harrison, man, you're like the cool guy. You know, I don't know. I could just see it. I can't remember what names he liked. I know the last 3 names that they're down to deciding, but obviously I can't say them because they're not talking about them publicly yet because they haven't chosen his name yet. And I know which one my brother-in-law likes the best of those 3 names. It's not the one that I like the best, but he's not my son. It's also not the one my sister likes the best. However, that's why they haven't decided on one name, because they don't like the same name the best. So Darth. I don't know about Darth. We were trying to think of other like adjacently fandom names. Like, you know, everyone will know why we named him that. Okay, so people will know you like Star Wars, no lies. I know, right? Harrison sounds like the type of kid around school who wears a tuxedo to school. Can you imagine? Put him in a tiny tuxedo. No. Oh, to be a parent. I know. We, well, especially, like, here's the thing. Y'all know how close we live to Disneyland. If this child is born on May the 1st, or May the 4th, they do already have a middle name for him. Yeah, he's getting a family middle name, just like Zoe has. If he is born on May the 4th, we are doing his first birthday photo shoot in Star Wars Land. I mean, that feels really obvious, right? Like, you just take the little 1-year-old and you stick him in the center of Star Wars Land and you take pictures and you're like, it's my birthday, with like a little number 1 balloon. That seems obvious. General Grievous. I have a friend who has a cat named General Grievous. And it was not until this moment when Shira said that, then I realized why his name was General Grievous and not just Grievous. It must be a Star Wars character, right? Star Wars Land. All right, we got off on a tangent. Max's friend, wait, let's see, hold on. Max's first friend wore a cute little sports coat one day. He's tiny for his age and wears glasses. That's adorable. We did that with my baby. We did a cake smash. You did it in front of the castle? That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, his cake smash would have to be in Star Wars Land if he's born on Star Wars Day. Name him Yoda. Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You had a Star Wars themed wedding? Nice. They didn't have a themed wedding. They just had like practically. I mean, like it was just like. It was small. He was May 17th, so we just missed May 4th. Oh, yeah. Can I get the Easter egg? I don't know. R2-D2 just... I mean, R2-D2, like, if you name him something that starts with an R, R2, your cousin just had a kid? Oh, congratulations. If you give him a name that starts with an R, Randall, for example, that's not one of the names they're debating, but let's just pretend you named him Randall and he's born on May the 4th. You can call him R2 as a joke, like as a nickname. You know what I mean? Because like, you can do that. So anyway, how many pages in this next chapter? Okay. Chapter 29. How can you get the Easter eggs? 5 p.m. Pacific time, the Easter eggs will be available for purchase on my website at 5 p.m., but not a minute sooner because they are extremely limited. Extremely limited. Okay. Before I had time to react, lots of bad things began happening at once. First of which was that all 3 Dragunovs began firing on us before I could shoot lightning at them, so retreat was the only option. Turning quickly, I grabbed a female hand in each of mine and bolted down the street away from the Russians, sprays of bullets and a few rockets firing after us. Man, if we hadn't just turned a corner, we would have been toast. It only helped momentarily, though, because we had been running past all of the vendors for less than 3 seconds before the Dragunovs were airborne, giving pursuit hard. "Get down!" Chloe screamed, dropping to the ground and snagging Piper and me by the ankles, resulting in us face-planting in front of her. Before I could tell her to chill out, I heard the unholy hiss of a rocket just above us, and a stall about 20 feet in front of us exploded, the man who had been selling fine fabric spinning through the air. Since we were all 3 lying down covering our heads like frightened children, we didn't get thrown across the town like the last time we'd encountered an exploding building. Getting to my feet, I hauled Piper up with me, and we were running again. Did they even want the gauntlets intact? I shouted above the roar of the pandemonium that had ensued after Klaus and his men started sailing bottle rockets from hell everywhere. "Good question," Piper said from behind when we bolted into an alley. "We need horses." "We can't outrun Dragunovs," Chloe told us fiercely. "The only chance we have is to obtain one of the suits for ourselves." The house we'd been leaning against while breathing like water buffaloes shook and groaned. "I have to light them up again," I said. Chloe had already started shaking. "You can't. They're spread out this time, and it takes them hours to reboot after a massive electrical jolt, and we don't have time to wait for them. They've probably got their shields on now anyway after Scotland. Do they work like all good science fiction and can withstand only so much? No, they don't work that way. It's a self-sustaining type of shield, and it's the first of its kind." "Let me guess. Your dad?" Chloe nodded. "Afraid so. No sweet spot or anything?" I asked. "Only that they're made to repel energy." "Come again?" "Things like bolts from the gauntlets or lasers." "What about bullets?" Chloe looked at me like I was asking one of the most foolish questions imaginable. "The Dragunovs don't have to repel bullets, Jericho," she said. "What about a sword?" Piper asked. Chloe sighed and was probably about to let her know that if bullets bounced off without leaving a scratch, then swords certainly weren't going to do anything good in our endeavor, but I cut in. "If Piper and I drew their attention, could you do anything from behind?" We had long since started running again, but it wasn't making our plans any easier as we darted behind buildings and tents. "Maybe," Chloe said, looking uneasy. "I've never had to work on one before, but my father said if you just take away all the bells and whistles, the Dragunov is just more firepower-oriented version of this STAF-7s. And if that's the case, then..." The building we'd been running close to shuddered and began collapsing. "Whatever, just do it!" I shouted, shoving her on the way and bolting with Piper close behind. Splinters of wood and shards of rock hit the back of us as the old structure groaned and fell right where we had just been plotting. We skirted around the houses, still standing and squatting behind as well. Peeking around the corner, I saw Klaus and was still shouting at his devil soldiers and pointing at the rubble of the house they'd just brought down. "What are you planning to do, Jericho?" Piper asked me just when we heard Klaus scream. "Just what's your plan, Johnson?" "Geez, but will you people leave me alone and let me think?" I whispered furiously to Piper. "Stay here and don't come out until I say." Before she could protest, I stood and walked out from behind the well with my hands up. "Let's chat, Klaus," I called, walking towards him. All the Dragunovs started landing hard on the ground behind him, kicking up dust in their wake. Turning, Klaus saw me smile. "You really have not grasped that your life means nothing to me, have you?" he said with his hands behind his back. All 3 Dragunovs were covering him with their arms up and aimed right at me. "Since your trigger-happy lunatics have killed both of my comrades, I don't see why anyone else has to die," I said, a lie rough and hard as Klaus took it. "Both of them?" he asked. "Yes," I said, hatred seeping from me. It wasn't exactly fake either. This guy had probably just killed 20 to 30 people in less than 30 seconds. "Even Atrium's girl?" "Don't tell me you can't count to 2. "That's a shame," Klaus said. and he truly looked like he meant it as he frowned at the ground. Chloe had a brilliant future ahead of her as the first of her kind. My only hope is that we can salvage her remains for another prototype. And then, to the 2 guards on his right, he said, "Find her body." Ever the picture of obedience, the 2 Dragonovs tromped off in search of Chloe's body because they needed it for... What was he talking about again? I'm thinking I wasn't covering my facial features as good as I thought because Klaus noticed my darkening brow and said, "I'll take it she never explained to you that she's synthetic." Synthetic? I asked, completely thrown off my groove. Like an android? However you wish to put it, although since she has functioning human parts riddled here and there throughout her metacore, she can't be classified as an android or anything of the like. Too fast. This was going way too fast. Chloe came into my line of sight just then as she began sneaking up behind her target, the remaining Dragonov behind Klaus. I couldn't help but notice how fluid her movements were. Without thinking, my hand went to my right shoulder that still ached at times from when I'd tackled her in Rome. I recall stating that she had to be wearing body armor. Not wanting to believe that I'd been tricked by some cheap ripoff, I grasped at anything I could think of. But she bleeds. I saw that myself. From the neck up, yes, Klaus told me. Minimum amount of blood and veins are required to keep the brain working properly, and it also keeps all the mechanical fluids from the neck down at bay, or somewhat at least. Then how is she the first of her kind? Don't you future people have robots running out your ears? I asked, watching in my peripheral vision as Chloe closed the gap between her and the unsuspecting pilot of the Dragonov. The real Chloe was killed in the raid when she was 15. Her body wasn't salvageable, but her father discovered her brain and a few other parts were. So after a year of testing, he created the being that you've been running through time with for the past few days. 15. I told you I hated that number. Chloe was almost there. So her brain is all that's real? That and her spine, which was the real breakthrough in synthetics, since hooking kind of wires to a spine isn't that easy, and it's also illegal, Klaus said. It was true. All the insane feats I'd seen Chloe do came rushing back to me in one big picture. Now I think this concludes our talk, Klaus said, extending his hand. The glove, please. Checking the glove, I saw that we had 3 hours left. No hope of a last-minute train ride to safety this time. Chloe was standing behind the Dragonov and seemed to be fiddling with the back plate without the soldier noticing. Smiling, I asked, "Are you sure she's an android?" The Dragonov shook hard with one jolt and collapsed to the ground as the eyepieces stopped glowing. "Because I think she's a flipping ninja." Klaus spun around just in time to receive one of Chloe's perfect 10 hurricane kicks to the chest. I couldn't help noticing that he flew almost 15 feet before landing in the sandy street. "Nice job, RoboCop," I said, closing the gap between us and bending over to help her drag the pilot out of the Dragonov, which wasn't easy because he came out kicking and screaming, or he would have had Chloe not grabbed his neck when the chest piece opened up, from what I could see, 3 feet away, and crushed his windpipe. "The other 2 are looking for what's left of your synthetic corpse. Won't take them long to realize you're still running on full battery," I told her, looking her up and down like I'd just met her. Piper skidded to a stop beside us. "They're not far away. Whatever you're going to do it." Chloe dragged the dead man out of the suit and motioned to me. "Get in," she commanded. Not expecting this, I said, "Why me? You're the Terminatrix. You get in." It wasn't the thing I was trying to take jabs at her for not telling her anything. I was just truly and sincerely wanted her to pilot the Dragonov and save the day. "I'm not synthetic, you idiot," she shouted. "The Gauntlet needs to be protected, so you've got to pilot this thing." Without another word, I turned around and laid down in the suit, working my gauntleted hands into the arm slot. The armor closed around my legs, chest, and finally my face, and I took a deep breath. "I don't know what I'm doing in here, Chloe," I said, my voice resounding through the helmet, sounding deeper and a tad bit amplified. It was dark inside the helmet until the eyes of the face mask turned on and the sky appeared. Lying there for a second, I saw a tiny loading sign spinning at the bottom of my vision, and a green bar came up beside a cloud, processed it, and then the molecular structure of the cloud spilled out the bottom of the green bar, explaining the various combinations required to create it. I sat up. It felt like my real body when I placed a hand on the ground and got to one knee. The feeling wasn't explainable, but I'll give it my best shot. I sat up, feeling like my real... Oh, wait, no, I said that already. Sorry. I felt like the mix of a Transformer, a Spartan, and a Ninja, or as I like to call it, Optimus Spinja. It's a terrible joke, John. It's a terrible joke. I glanced at Chloe and more green bars appeared while the suit broke her down and informed me of her height, weight, and even how much of a threat she was on a scale of 1 to 10. She was around a 2. You can tell it what to do in your mind if you're having doubts about commands, she said. I had already figured this out when I had the suit make Chloe's skin disappear so I could get a look at her insides, which were all flesh and organs, without any robotics to speak of. On Chloe's end, I looked just like a tall, suited man staring at her through an expressionless helmet, but she knew what I was doing. Holding up her hands, she said, "Satisfied?" "A little bit," I said. "Did you say this thing could fly?" Chloe nodded and started backing away, pulling Piper with her. "How does it work?" the Viking girl asked. "Don't ask," Chloe told her. "Yes, it can fly." She tapped the side of her head. "Tell it in there and be careful." And then she turned and both girls bolted away, leaving me standing in the sandy streets. I turned around. I started for Klaus, who was trying desperately to get to his feet. My steps made satisfying tromping sounds when I stopped next to him, reaching down and lifted him into the air by his coat collar. I pulled his face close to my helmet and said, "Stay down, pal. Things are about to get ugly." I guess I should have just dropped him, but instead I reared him back and sent him skipping down the street like a rock on a pond. "Stand down!" I heard the other Dragonovs yell from behind me. I turned my head to the side and looked at them over my shoulder. "I said, stand down!" one of them shouted again. I faced them. "Anyone that don't figure on dying best slip out the back," I said in my most menacingly Clint Eastwood voice before engaging the flight sequence in my mind. I'm not sure what I was expecting. I mean, there were a lot of variables when it came to a manned suit flying, such as jetpack, rocket boots, wings, jetpack with wings, and such. I guess I was hoping for rocket boots, to be honest, but when the red hologram wings sprouted from my back, the lower back of the suit blasted me into the air with twin ports shooting blue flames. I must say, boots did seem a tad drab after that. I whooped loudly while I climbed into the air at an almost sickening rate. If the feeling of all my organs slamming into my feet was anything to go by, well, after I descended so high that the town looked like a speck off the shoreline, I leveled out and began to circle back to see if my enemies had followed me into the sky. I saw them coming fast and prepared myself for my first aerial combat. The red hollow wings I thought were just for show were in fact the only way that I could steer after I leveled out. Glancing at them in wonder, I saw that although I could see through them like any hologram, they were cutting the wind like butter. And then I remembered what Chloe had said about the self-sustaining shield that could be engaged on the Dragonov and concluded that the wings could be something of the same material that had a limit to how far it could go away from the body. Stopping my soaring, I flapped my wings to stay in one place while the jetpack kept me hovering. Looking down past my feet, dangling like church bells in the open air, I saw the other Dragonovs appear above the clouds not 500 yards right below me. Each of them hissed off a missile at me, and the right side of my view screen blinked red, letting me know that both missiles were, in fact, locked on me. Awesome. Just when I was really starting to enjoy flying, I had to try to shake off heat-seeking rockets with my name on them. Peachy. All right, chapter 30 is kind of long, y'all, and I have obviously have work to do and got to get, all the slimes finished labeled and stuff for restock. So I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to eat breakfast first because you can hear my stomach growling. But I will be on either at like 4:15-ish kind of time or 4 sometime between 4 and 4:30. I will be on YouTube, Becca. Yes, everybody have a great day. I will be on in a couple of hours.